gonna paint it. So today's painting day. I thought I'd just give you a quick run through on how I do a paint job. I've done a few paint jobs. Like, I'm not a professional at this. This is totally the kind of paint job that looks good from about 40 yards when the car's covered in smoke and going really fast so you can't see anything. But if you're interested on how I do it, I thought I'd give you a quick run through, right? At the end of the video, I'm going to run through all the costs and a list of all the materials you need to do one of these paint jobs. So the first thing is just prep. I've sanded the whole car down, all the panels are off, and I've used these pads, these Scotch-Brite pads. After I've filled everything, rub all the panels down. This just sort of keys up the surface. The thing I've been doing is I wipe all the panels down with a thing called panel wipe stuff. They're a really good place to get Dual paints as well. That's a really good place online to get it on eBay. Wipe it all down with that. Then I get these sticky tack cloths. Like a sticky tack cloth like this. There's like, but it feels like it's got wax or something like that on it. And you rub them down with that, and then that takes all the dust off. So you should, after you've done all that, get a clean surface to then start spraying on. Now, that all sounds really quick. Like the last two bits don't take that long, but all of this, I've been doing this for like, this is like weeks, a week of work, kind of just sorting all, like everything's broken as well. You can see how much filler and fixing, and I'm not getting too close to any of this because you'll see how shit it is. Right, and now I will show you. So the next thing, once you've got everything prepped and you've got it all laid out, like everything in my garage is covered because the paint gets everywhere. Even like it's baking hot. I'm wearing the reason I'm wearing this is so it doesn't get in my hair, even though I could probably just shave it afterwards. But I'll wear glasses as well, and a bit of a face mask as well. And the glasses is more just so because you get stuck in your eyes and in your eyelashes and things, and your eyelashes get stuck together. It's horrible getting it out. So I'll run you through the kit I used to do a paint job. So here is my gun. Is HVLP. I don't know what that stands for, but you can run it with like a 1.6 or 1.4, I think, or like end on these. We're doing primer to start with. I've used this a few times, just make sure it's all nice and clean, and then it's just a case of mixing up the paint. So this Hybrid primer you see is a 4:1, and you get these cups, and if you go to a body shop supply place, they'll supply this, and then all you do is they've got like the markings on the side of it. So here's your 4:1 or 4 parts paint, 1 part hardener, and then your thinners is like your 10, 20 or 30%. So hey, let's get mixing some paint. So another little thing I do is this, like the paint lid I've got on here, it's not that great. I had a better one, I can't find it at the moment, so I've just gone back to this old one. But I sometimes find like the angles you're holding the gun at, so like you end up just putting the gun in stupid positions because I'm not very good at this. And sometimes you get little bits of paint leaking out of here. So I've made this little paint tampon because you're beautiful. And it just like, it catches any of those, or it will try and catch some of those. And it's literally just a bit of blue rolled up and then some masking taped on. Before I paint, I generally like set up a bit of paper so I can check what position the gun's in, because like I dismantle the gun completely and all the settings are completely wrong on it. So this just gives me a wee chance to make sure it's making, like, the paint's flowing right and it's making the right shape. So just go and try and get the settings about right. So basically what I like to do, set the paint, which is this bit here, to full, and then adjust this bit, which is the pressure. So we turn the, well, this, I don't know, is it the pressure? But basically what this does, if you put it right to the minimum, you end up with this big jet that comes out. You don't want that. You want kind of like an oblong bit. So like what you do, push the, push it up, and that's it, starts to come out better, and you want a bit more of an oblong. That's the one. See how it goes? And then that's a good one to go with. The next thing I will do is, like, I'll actually start on painting a part of the car. I'll start on a bit that you don't see. It's kind of like a good bit maybe along the bottom of here. You're not going to see that, so just in case you do screw, something goes wrong, you can tell, and it's not a big issue because you've not covered the whole car in it, or a bit that you're going to see. Right, let's spray some paint. There we go. It's alright. I'll take that. It's not, well, it's alright. It'll do. I need to sand it down with set 400 after that. What I am noticing though is I'm running the gun, like the pressure coming out is actually about 6 bar to make this work. So I don't know, the paint's a bit too thick or something like that, but I don't mind how it's going on. So this is working, so I'm just going to stick with it. One of the things I'll show you just when you're painting is like the movement you have to do is like you start the gun off and then move it, then start spraying, and then stop spraying when you're off the panel. Don't start with the gun pointed straight, and because then you end up with it building up paint. So I'll just give it a quick one. So and then off, and then back, and then off. Now just repeat that a million times and you end up with a car that's all one colour. That's it all primed. Everything is now grey. Like, I've got a couple of bits I need to fix that are, that bit in there, I don't know if you can see it, oh, it looks grim. So yeah, there is a few bits that need a bit of a sand, but that's me done for tonight. I'll come back in tomorrow, touch up the little bits that need done, then sort of spot prime them, and then it'll be a case of waiting and putting some colour on it. Woo-hoo! I suppose other things just quickly, the air pressure I ended up having to use in the gun was like 6 bar. It was meant to be lower than that, but I had to put it up, so I don't know if it's the regulators maybe not reading properly or that, but that was good. And then also I had to end up putting like 20% thinners in. It's really warm at the moment, so I think the paint was just a bit thicker, so 20% thinners. And also, like, I've got a 1.4 nozzle on mine. Should be a 1.6, so 1.6 would probably let a bit more material through. But started, it's not bad. Pretty chuffed. Right, next time it's colour. Still been fixing up those little bits. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Sanded everything, went through like, there's a tiny, like when everything's one colour, it's so much easier to see like all the imperfections. When it was multicoloured, you just really couldn't. I fixed a bunch of them. I stopped caring as well, so I haven't fixed everything. So filled them, then spot primed bits, and then I've also gone and I've 400'd the whole thing. So everything's been sanded down again. I've wiped it all down with some panel wipe, And I'm just going to do that tack cloth again, and then we can start to do some colour. Another thing, just before I start painting, like one of the things I've noticed is, so I bought low tack masking tape, just because I thought it'd be a bit easier. I should have not done that because it's been peeling off in places, and I've been getting overspray on some of the, what do you call it, on some of the rubber. Like I've covered it all over now, but that's been a pain in the arse. So I don't really know how I'll get that off as well. I've kind of covered over hopefully the primer's a bit easier to get off, so I've covered it over before I start spraying the top coat on, because that'll stick way more. But I don't know, I end up with a black Sharpie just colouring it in. So just give this a wee shake. I've given it a bit more of a shake than this before, but that's just to like mix up the paint a wee bit. So this is the colour. See that? Don't think it comes quite across, a bit paler in the video, but it's Porsche Miami Blue, so it's the colour that they do GT4s and stuff. So normally when I pick a colour, I'm going for something that exists in like the racing division of something. So like last time the car was like Volvo Rebel Green, which was blue, go figure. So now this one, I really liked it. I seen a couple of cars on Instagram with this colour on it, and it looked mint. So that, and then we'll go for, I think it'll be a black wheel. So yeah. I can really hope it goes on well. The Dural guys, you can just go on their website and they give you the instructions on what to do. So this is a 2K paint, like doesn't need a clear coat on the top. So we're doing 2 parts paint to 1 part hardener and then 10% thinners. So let's go and see what that's like. So what you'll notice with top coat is that the paint is way thinner. So if you hold it too long, you'll end up with sort of dribbles like that. So you kind of got to set the gun. I've had to turn that up a touch just to get a bit more of a bigger spray pattern, and that's working out quite nicely. But you really just end up having to move the gun a bit quicker, keep the gun a bit further back from the panels. And the easy way of telling you how to do this is you just have to try it and you have to get it wrong. Like this car will have runs in it. It won't be perfect, but it's such a satisfying thing doing this. So I'm gonna stick some tunes on and get going. So just to show you how I would paint a panel. Now I normally try and go around the other edges first and then sort of block in all the edges. and then you go and finish it off with big sweeps across it, because that way you end up with like the paint big and nice sweeped over here, and then you can work wet into wet, and you end up with the biggest part of the panel looking its best. Like all these kind of things don't matter. So I'll quickly show. I'll show you the edges, and then I'll show you what I would do next. So you can see all the kind of like these edges are all done, and then yeah. So all the edges. Now it's just a case of blasting the whole panel. Right, she's all blue, look! So, I'm gonna try and clean all this crap off, let it dry tonight, see if Mr. Fly actually manages to get out of there. Yeah, I don't think he's getting out. Yeah, let's see what it looks like tomorrow. And just like that, there she is. Color's different on the video, but all pieced together. Put all my catches on and stuff like that. All my, well, those are not attached. And then everything's bolted in, and yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with what I've pulled off here. It's not brilliant, but for a race car, I'm chuffed with it. Super chuffed. So I'm hoping to get a wee bit of a livery on her too, but time will tell on that one. She's going to be skidded before she gets livery. But I'll go on through the costs that were involved in doing this. So I've written it all down here. Now, your first cost is a paint gun. Maybe you can borrow that, but I roughly spent about 80 bucks on mine. I've used my, a few times. Those red Scotch Brite pads, that was the ones I used to roughen up the surface of the paint. They're about $7. So a 2K high build primer, so you get 4 litres of primer, 1 litre of hardener. That's like 55 quid. I've got quite a bit of that still left over. The 2K acrylic paint kit. Now that's 2.5 litres of paint, 1.5 litre of hardener, and 1 litre of thinners, and that's $90. Now I've got a bit left of that. I've not got a massive amount of that left though. It's a good amount to get if you're doing the whole car. If I'm doing interior and the bonnet, or inside the bonnet, you might be getting close to not having enough, so you might want to order a bit more of that. Then essential, get 600cc mixing cups. I went for 50 of those, and they came with the mixing sticks. That was $12. Those filters for when you're pouring the paint into the gun, 190 micron filters, they're £5, amazing. 50mm masking tape, get the 50mm stuff because it's thicker, it's easier to get on and cover stuff. That's 7 quid. And that brown paper, it's only 10 quid. And saves you having to use newspapers, you could cheap out in that. So that total comes to 266 quid. So if you were just painting a car that had that didn't need any body work done to it, any of that filling, you're 266 quid. And if you can borrow a gun, that'd save you some money too. But if you're also needing to do all the fixing of bodywork, you need an Orbital sander. You get them between like 50 and 100 bucks. Mine was about 60 bucks, I think, or something like that. Sanding discs, you need loads of these. I use 120 for when I've just got big loads of stuff. 240s and then 400s, they're 17 quid each for 50 of those. Then you need like 3 litres of body filler, 27 bucks. Then the mixing board and spreaders. Now these are brilliant. Those are like, they're like it's like a little A4 sheet, and just you mix on top of it, and then you rip it off, and then you mix, and then you've got like 100 sheets. So instead of like whenever I did body filler, it was like a bit, you find something to mix on, then you find something else on. They're just so handy and they're worth it. So that's like £9, and then fiberglass. Depends on how much fiberglass you've got to do. Kits from like £25 and plus, but let's say it's the cheapest of everything, come in at that like £162. So for me, like pretty much £428. I had the sander and the paint gun, so it didn't cost me that much, but that gives you, that's a really good, like, that's everything you need and nothing more than what you need either. So hopefully that's been use. Long-winded, but that bit's quite useful, you know, real costs. So I reckon I'll get 2 outings before I smash it and then have to start painting it again. Nah, probably 1. Right, see you later, guys.